Welcome back to Crypto Chatter, everyone. I'm Elliot Carter.
And I'm your Bennett.
Today, we're diving into some seriously groundbreaking news coming out of the Hong Kong Bitcoin Tech Carnival.
Google's taking a leap into the world of Bitcoin?
Yeah, Google accounts with built-in Bitcoin wallets.
That's right.
Seamless transactions, sending and receiving Bitcoin as easily as you would an email.
It's a potential game changer.
It really is. Okay, so we've seen tech giants kind of flirt with crypto before Facebook tried it with Libra.
Right.
Which then became DM.
Right.
And that just totally fizzled out pretty quickly. And then Telegram's TON blockchain also ran into a wall.
They certainly did. But what's interesting here is that Google is entering the scene at a time when the regulatory landscape is getting clearer.
Okay.
And it seems they're learning from the missteps of their predecessors.
So they're playing it smarter.
Yeah, I mean, Google does have a reputation for security and user-friendliness.
Right.
They're a brand people trust, which could be huge in getting everyday users comfortable with Bitcoin.
Absolutely. Think about it. They're already so deeply integrated into our lives, with Google Pay and other services.
Right.
Integrating Bitcoin into that ecosystem. I mean, it could be a real catalyst for mainstream adoption.
Absolutely.
So what does this actually look like for the average user? Are we going to need a separate app, or how will this actually work?
Well, the idea is to seamlessly integrate Bitcoin into the existing Google Pay infrastructure.
Gotcha.
So imagine sending Bitcoin as easily as you pay with Google Pay today.
Okay.
No more messing with complex wallet addresses or QR codes.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's all streamlined and automated.
So that definitely sounds a lot more appealing to the average person.
Right.
But let's talk about security for a second, because that's obviously a big concern for people when it comes to crypto.
Right.
How is Google actually addressing that?
Well, they're exploring cutting-edge encryption tech like zero-knowledge proofs,
Okay.
which let you verify transactions without revealing sensitive info.
So what what would be an example of that?
It's like proving you have enough funds without disclosing your entire account balance or transaction history.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It also addresses the privacy concerns that people have with crypto as well.
Exactly.
So Google's really leaning into their strengths, security, and a trusted brand to push Bitcoin into the mainstream.
They are, and it's a smart move.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if you are thinking about exploring Bitcoin yourself, security is paramount.
Right.
Check out the LedgerStack's Cold Wallet and the Trezor Safe 5 for top-notch protection of your digital assets.
Great point.
You can find links to these in the show notes.
Awesome security is definitely non-negotiable.
For sure.
But let's get back to Google. I mean, this move could potentially have a huge impact on Bitcoin's value, right? I mean, we're talking about potentially millions of new users.
Right now, Bitcoin is hovering around $95,773.
Okay.
But if Google sparks mass adoption,
Right.
that increased transaction volume could significantly drive up the price over time.
That's a pretty exciting prospect for anyone already holding Bitcoin.
It is.
This move could be the bridge between traditional payment methods and blockchain technology.
I think so.
It's a potential turning point, I think, for the entire financial landscape.
It's a really fascinating development, and we're just at the beginning of this story.
Yeah.
If you're interested in keeping up with this and other crypto news, make sure to visit us at cryptochatter.co.uk.
Awesome. We'll make sure to link that in the show notes as well.
We've got in-depth articles, analysis, and all the latest updates to keep you ahead of the curve.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we've talked about how Google's approach is different from, say, Facebook's Libra.
Mm-hmm.
They're really emphasizing user experience, making Bitcoin as simple and familiar as any other Google product.
Yes, they seem to be learning from past mistakes.
Yeah.
Remember how complex and confusing Libra was? Google's aiming for simplicity and familiarity,
Right.
tapping into their existing user base who are already comfortable with Google Pay and other services.
Which makes sense. I mean, most people aren't going to use something if it's a hassle, especially when it comes to their money. But if it's as easy to use as email, that's a game changer.
Exactly. And let's face it, most of us use at least one Google product every single day.
Every day.
This seamless integration could be the key to unlocking mainstream adoption of Bitcoin for everyday transactions.
It's true. Google is everywhere.
They are?
If they can successfully integrate Bitcoin into their ecosystem, we could see a seismic shift in how we think about and use money.
For sure. It's not just about the technology, it's about trust.
Right.
People trust Google. They use the products, they know the brand. That trust factor could be the key to unlocking mainstream adoption of crypto.
It's interesting to consider how this might affect other cryptocurrencies too.
Yeah.
Will we see a similar push for integration with other coins? Or will this just solidify Bitcoin's dominance?
That's a great question, and one that we'll be exploring further in future episodes.
Okay.
But for now, let's dive a bit deeper into the technical side of things.
Okay.
You mentioned zero-knowledge proofs earlier.
Yeah.
Can you break that down a little further for us?
Yeah, I think a lot of people might not be familiar with that concept.
Right.
What does it actually mean in the context of Bitcoin transactions?
Well, imagine you want to prove you have enough Bitcoin to make a purchase without revealing your entire transaction history or your account balance.
Okay.
Zero-knowledge proofs allow you to do just that.
Okay.
It's about verifying a transaction's validity without disclosing sensitive details.
That sounds like a pretty significant enhancement to security and privacy.
It is.
It seems like Google is taking this multifaceted approach, making Bitcoin easier to use, more secure, and more private.
Exactly. And this has implications beyond just convenience.
Okay.
Think about the billions of people worldwide who don't have access to traditional banking services.
Right.
They do have access to the internet and smartphones, though.
So with Google's integration, Bitcoin could become a viable alternative for those who have been excluded from the traditional financial system.
Precisely. It's about leveling the playing field,
Yeah.
giving everyone access to the same financial tools and opportunities.
That's a powerful concept.
It is.
And it highlights the potential for positive social impact that this technology has. I mean, it's not just about making money, it's about creating a more equitable and accessible financial system.
Absolutely. And that's a conversation worth having as this story continues to unfold. This isn't just about technology, it's about people and how we connect with each other on a global scale.
That's a great point. It's a reminder that the world of crypto is about so much more than just profits. It's about building a better future for everyone. And who knows, maybe Google's move is the catalyst that will finally bring that vision to reality.
It very well could be. Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, things are about to get very interesting in the world of crypto. We'll be here every step of the way to break it all down for you.
Now, before we wrap up this first part, I want to remind our listeners about the importance of keeping their crypto safe.
Absolutely.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, having a secure way to store your digital assets is critical.
Absolutely, and that's why we recommend checking out the LedgerStack's Cold Wallet and the Trezor Safe 5.
Yes,
These are two of the most trusted and reliable hardware wallets on the market.
for sure.
They offer top-notch security for your crypto. You can find links to both in the show notes.
And don't forget to visit cryptochatter.co.uk for all the latest news analysis and insights on the world of crypto. We've got everything you need to stay informed and make smart decisions about your investments. We'll be back after a short break to continue our deep dives into Google's Bitcoin integration and what it means for the future of finance.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to Crypto Chatter. We were just discussing the potentially seismic impact of Google integrating Bitcoin wallets into their platform.
It's a huge development with so many angles to consider. We've talked about user experience and security, but what about regulation? Wasn't that a major stumbling block for Facebook's Libra project?
Absolutely. Regulatory hurdles were a big part of why Libra failed to launch. But the landscape is evolving, and it seems Google's taking a more proactive approach this time around.
So what are they doing differently?
From what we've gathered, they've been in close communication with regulators from the very beginning,
Okay.
ensuring compliance with existing laws and anticipating potential future regulations. They're not trying to disrupt the system, but rather integrate into it.
That's a smart move. It seems like they're learning from the mistakes of others.
Yeah.
But even with all the right precautions, there's always the risk of hacks and scams, right? Especially with something as valuable as Bitcoin.
You're right, that's a valid concern. But remember that advanced encryption technology, we talk about zero-knowledge proofs, that plays a crucial role in Google's security strategy.
Right, so users can prove they have the funds without revealing sensitive information, making it much harder for hackers to steal data.
Exactly. And beyond that, Google has a long history of investing heavily in cybersecurity. They have some of the best engineers and security experts in the world working on this.
That's definitely reassuring, but even with the best technology, there's always the potential for human error, people falling for phishing scams, clicking on malicious links, those types of things.
That's where education comes in. Google will need to prioritize educating users about how to stay safe in the crypto world.
I imagine we'll see tips and warnings integrated directly into the platform, similar to how Gmail flags suspicious emails.
Precisely. And they'll likely partner with other organizations to offer educational resources and support a multi-pronged approach to security, addressing both the technical and the human elements.
Speaking of trust, how might this development impact the wider crypto ecosystem? Will other cryptocurrencies benefit from Google's move, or will this just solidify Bitcoin's dominance?
It's the question on everyone's mind. Some believe this rising tide will lift all boats, leading to increased interest and investment in cryptocurrencies across the board,
Okay.
while others think it could create a winner-take-all scenario, with Bitcoin becoming the go-to cryptocurrency for mainstream adoption. Exactly. It's too early to say for sure, but it's definitely a development we'll be tracking closely. And of course, we'll be sharing our analysis and insights with you, our listeners, right here on Crypto Chatter. Don't forget to visit our website, cryptochatter.co.uk, for even more in-depth coverage.
We've got articles, interviews, tutorials, everything you need to stay ahead of the curve in this rapidly evolving world of crypto.
Now let's flip the script for a moment and consider potential downsides. Are there any risks or concerns we haven't addressed yet?
That's a good point. Every innovation comes with its own set of challenges. What potential drawbacks should we be thinking about?
One concern is the potential for further centralization of the crypto market. Google is a massive corporation with significant power and influence.
And one of the core principles of crypto is decentralization, taking power away from large institutions.
Exactly. So there's a valid concern that Google's involvement could undermine that very principle.
It's something the crypto community will be watching very closely. Is there anything else that raises a red flag?
Well, there's also the issue of privacy. While zero-knowledge proofs can enhance privacy in some ways, Google still has access to a lot of data about its users.
And some people might be uncomfortable with the idea of their Bitcoin transactions being linked to their Google accounts.
It's a legitimate concern. Google will need to be transparent about how they're handling user data and address these privacy concerns head-on.
They're going to need to find a delicate balance between security, user-friendliness, and privacy. Not an easy task.
Not at all. But Google has a history of innovation and pushing boundaries. It'll be interesting to see how they navigate these challenges.
Now, before we move on to our final segment, I want to remind our listeners about the importance of doing their own research before investing in any cryptocurrency. This is still a relatively new and volatile market, and it's crucial to understand the risks involved.
Absolutely. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. And remember, security is paramount. We recommend the LedgerStax Cold Wallet and the Trezor Safe 5 for secure offline storage of your crypto. Links to both of these wallets can be found in the description below.
And don't forget to visit cryptochatter.co.uk for all the latest news analysis and insights on the world of crypto. We'll be back after a short break to wrap up our deep dive into Google's Bitcoin integration and explore what it means for the future of finance. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Crypto Chatter. We spent this episode exploring Google's big move into the world of Bitcoin. Now let's shift our focus to the future.
Okay.
What does this development signal about the future, not just of Bitcoin, but the whole landscape of digital assets?
It's like we're standing at the edge of a new era. Is
Yeah.
this the tipping point where crypto finally breaks into the mainstream?
It certainly have the potential. I mean, Google has billions of users worldwide.
Right.
Even if a small percentage of them start using Bitcoin regularly, that's a massive influx of new participants into the crypto space.
Huge.
And as we've discussed, increased adoption could have a significant impact on the price of Bitcoin. But let's zoom out a bit. What about the potential impact on the financial system as a whole?
This could be a catalyst for real change. We could see traditional financial institutions start taking crypto much more seriously, perhaps even integrating it into their existing services.
So imagine banks offering Bitcoin accounts alongside your checking and savings accounts.
Right.
That would have been unthinkable just a few years ago.
Exactly. And it could lead to the development of entirely new financial products and services built around blockchain technology. We're talking about potentially reshaping the very foundations of finance.
A more inclusive, transparent, and accessible financial system. That's a pretty exciting prospect.
It is, and it's not just limited to finance. Blockchain technology has the potential to revolutionize countless industries, from supply chain management to healthcare. We're really just at the beginning of exploring its possibilities.
Wow, bringing it back to Google, what should we be watching for as this story unfolds? What are the next steps?
Well, the first thing to watch for is the actual rollout of the Bitcoin wallet integration. How smooth is the process? How do users respond? User adoption is key.
Right, because even with the best technology, it won't matter if people don't embrace it.
Exactly.
And then beyond the initial rollout, I imagine they'll continue to add features and functionality over time.
Absolutely. We might see support for other cryptocurrencies or even integration with decentralized finance DeFi applications.
Connecting Google Pay with DeFi platforms now, that would be a game changer.
It would.
The possibilities are truly mind-boggling.
They are. This is a dynamic space and things are moving quickly. It's a fascinating time to be involved in the world of crypto.
And speaking of being involved, what can our listeners do to prepare for this potential crypto revolution?
The most important thing is to educate yourself. Learn about Bitcoin blockchain technology and the wider crypto ecosystem. There are tons of great resources available online, and of course, we've got you covered here at Crypto Chatter.
Exactly. Be sure to visit cryptochatter.co.uk for all the latest news analysis and insights. We've got articles, interviews, tutorials, everything you need to stay informed and make smart decisions.
And if you're thinking about investing in crypto, start small and never invest more than you can afford to lose. Remember, this is still a relatively new and volatile market. Proceed with caution and do your due diligence.
And never underestimate the importance of security. Make sure you're using a reputable exchange and a secure wallet to store your crypto.
We recommend the LedgerStack's Cold Wallet or the Trezor Safe 5. You can find links to both in the show notes.
The world of crypto is evolving rapidly. It's an exciting time to be a part of it, but it's crucial to stay informed, be cautious, and always prioritize security.
Well said. I want to thank you all for joining us on this deep dive into Google's leap into the Bitcoin universe. It's been a fascinating conversation, and I, for one, am excited to see what the future holds.
Thanks for tuning in to Crypto Chatter. Until next time, keep your ears to the ground and your minds open. The crypto revolution is just getting started.
Thanks for listening. We'll catch you in the next deep dive.